Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. If you enjoy these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more notifications. Welcome to our online church, a congregation made up of many from around the world. No offering is necessary. Subscribing and watching videos will help us keep alive under God's watchful eyes. Today, we will be learning about the Oasis of Ein Gedi. Ein Gedi means spring of the kid. It is an oasis and a nature reserve in Israel, located west of the Dead Sea, near Masada and the Qumran caves. Ein Gedi was listed in 2016 as one of the most popular nature sites in the country. The site attracts over 1 million visitors a year. The name Ein Gedi is composed of two Hebrew words, En meaning spring and Gedi meaning goat kid. Therefore, Ein Gedi means kid spring or fountain of the kid. In Joshua chapter 15, verse 62, Ein Gedi is enumerated among the wilderness cities of the tribe of Judah in the desert of Betharaba. In Ezekiel chapter 47, verse 10, it is prophesied that one day its coastal location will make it into a fishing village, after the water of the Dead Sea has been made sweet. Fishing nets will spread from En Gedi to Eneglam. Fleeing from King Saul, David hides in the strongholds of En Gedi. In 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 29 and chapter 24 verses 1 and 2, and Saul seeks him, even upon the most craggy rocks, which are accessible only to wild goats. In 1 Samuel chapter 24 verse 2. In Psalm 63, subtitle A Psalm of David, when he was in the wilderness of Judah, has been associated with David's sojourn in the desert of En Gedi. In 2 Chronicles chapter 20 verse 2, Ein Gedi or En Gedi is identified with Hazazon Tamar, a portion of land of date palms, an account of the palm groves which surrounded it, where the Moabites and Ammonites gathered in order to fight Jehoshaphat, king of Judah. In Genesis chapter 14 verse 7, Hazazon Tamar is mentioned as being an Amorite city, smitten by Chedorlaomer in his war against the cities of the plain. The Song of Songs, Song of Solomon chapter 1 verse 14, speaks of the vineyards of En Gedi. The words of Ecclesiasticus chapter 24 verse 18, I was exalted like a palm tree in Cades, may perhaps be understood as the palm trees of En Gedi. En Gedi Nature Reserve was declared in 1971 and is one of the most important reserves in Israel. The park is situated on the eastern border of the Judean desert, on the Dead Sea coast. It covers an area of 3,500 acres. The elevation of the land ranges from the level of the Dead Sea at 1,388 feet below sea level to the plateau of the Judean desert at 656 feet above sea level. En Gedi Nature Reserve includes two spring-fed streams with flowing water year-round, the Nahal David and the Nahal Arugat. Two other springs, the Shulamit and Ein Gedi springs, also flow in the reserve. Together, the springs generate approximately 792,516,157 gallons of water per year. Much of this water is used for agriculture or is bottled for human consumption. The reserve is a sanctuary for many types of plants, birds, and animal species. The vegetation includes plants and trees from the tropical desert, Mediterranean, and Steppean regions, such as Sodom apple, acacia, jujube, and poplar. The many species of resident birds are supplemented by over 200 additional species during the migration periods in the spring and fall. Mammal species include the Nubian ibex and the rock hyrax. The Ein Gedi National Park features several archaeological sites, including the Chalcolithic Temple of Ein Gedi, as well as a 1st century CE village. The park was declared in 2002 and covers an area of 2 acres. Ein Gedi has been subject to a large number of sinkholes appearing in the area, which have even damaged the highway built in 2010. The highway was supposedly built to a sinkhole-proof design. The sinkholes are due to the decline in water level of the Dead Sea, as of 2021, at an annual rate of more than 3 feet, which is attributed to the battle for scarce water resources in the very arid region. The sinkholes form as a result of the receding shoreline, with the surface of the sea having shrunk by about 33% since the 1960s. A thick layer of underground salt was left behind. When fresh water arrives in the form of heavy rains, it dissolves the salt as it sinks into the ground, forming an underground cavity, which eventually collapses under the weight of the surface ground layer. Tourism has been affected by the receding shoreline and the sinkholes. The amount of water from the rains reaching the sea has diminished since flash floods started pouring into the sinkholes. Huge cave systems called karsts convey water underground between the sinkholes. Scientists in the floodplain area south of Ein Gedi have been using cameras, water testing, videos using drones, and satellite monitoring to map the area for safety. Kibbutz Ein Gedi, founded in 1956, is a kibbutz located about a kilometer from the oasis. It offers various tourist attractions and takes advantage of the local weather patterns and the abundance of natural water to cultivate out-of-season produce. The kibbutz area contains an internationally acclaimed botanical garden covering an area of 24.7 acres. There one can find more than 900 species of plants from all over the world. The kibbutz is also home to the Ein Gedi Eco Park, which functions as both a zoo and an environmental education center, demonstrating sustainable technologies such as solar cookers, gray water systems, mud buildings, and compost toilets. The Ein Gedi race, also known as the Shalom Marathon or Dead Sea Half Marathon, is a popular road running event over several distances. It has been held by the Tamar Regional Council since 1983. The starting point for all races is the Ein Gedi Spa. 50 miles southeast of Jerusalem and 3 miles south of Kibbutz Ein Gedi. This was the Oasis of Ein Gedi. Adonai Nisi, the Lord is our banner. Remember, if you like these videos, please click on the button below the video and click on the bell for new notifications. God's blessings be upon us all.